One of the trailers we got at D23 yesterday from Marvel Studios is for Werewolf by Night, the MCU's upcoming Halloween special for Disney+. If you watch this trailer, you know this is unlike anything we've ever seen, not only from the MCU, but honestly just Hollywood in general over the past, decade. We haven't seen anything like this in a while, so this is really refreshing and actually really cool that we have this kind of black and white campy homage to classic horror monster movies. I just think it's really cool. I just really like the idea, and we have a new poster here as well. This is at least the artwork that's on display on Disney Plus when you go to the Werewolf by Night page, so you can see this artwork. This looks beautiful. This looks really cool. And so we're gonna go and break down this trailer because there's definitely some interesting stuff going on here. Because we opened up on this really interesting intro where you've got all these bright, colorful colors, and I was super confused. Why? What is going on here? Then we find out this is the intro for the Marvel Studios special presentation. So it kind of makes me think that because they literally made an intro specifically for this, it kind of makes me think that, okay, we're probably going to be getting more of these in the future. Now, whether special presentation means literally just all of the kind of specials, so maybe we'll get this for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special as well, or if it's just specifically kind of one-off character projects like Werewolf by Night, because it's not like we're gonna get a sequel to this or a second season or anything, because this is just a 40-minute special on Disney Plus. But it's definitely really interesting that we now have this new kind of feature of content that maybe we might get more in the future. But anyway, we get into this, and again, like I said, it is in black and white. It's got these super campy horror vibes, but I love it. I mean, you got these crazy things going on here, this dark town, and we are introduced to our first character here, played by Laura Donnelly. This is Elsa Bloodstone, who, in the comics, Elsa Bloodstone is a monster hunter, so of course it makes perfect sense that she's going to be involved here, and I mean, you see in the trailer that it's a gathering of monster hunters, so that makes perfect sense. And also, Elsa Bloodstone as a character being introduced, I think, also makes a lot of sense because we assume that the Midnight Suns are being set up. She was a member in the comics, so there's another potential member alongside possibly Werewolf by Night himself. And then we get the logo flashing up. We get, of course, that, classic voiceover and everything, so that's great. And then we enter this cult of monster hunters here. So we have a bunch of different monster hunters that have now been gathered around, and they're basically here to play a game of werewolf, which, if you followed Spider-Man No Way Home and the whole Andrew Garfield thing, he was the werewolf, so there's that. And now we're doing it again in the MCU with Werewolf by Night. And so here is Gael Garcia Bernal's character. He's going to be the star of this Halloween special. He is playing Jack Russell, aka the Werewolf by Night. So, they're talking about here oh, I can't wait to find out which one of you is truly a beast of evil. And we already know who it is because it's this guy. It's Jack Russell. He's going to be the one that turns into a werewolf. And just for a little bit of background information on this character, basically it's kind of like an inherited curse where his grandfather was bit by a werewolf, and now he, every time it hits nighttime, he turns into a werewolf, and it's just this crazy curse. And so yeah, things are not great for this guy. I don't really know why he would show up to this monster hunter thing, but maybe it's some sort of trap. I mean, that's what it kind of seems like here. And again, just going with the camp vibes. I can't tell if this is supposed to be canonically an animatronic, because it clearly is, or if in universe this is supposed to be an actual creature thing person. I'm not sure, but it's still really cool and really funny anyway. And this woman appears to be kind of the ringleader here that has gathered them together. And again, she's talking about I can't wait to find out which one of you it is. And then we've got Elsa Bloodstone, like I said, she's there as well, and she is just got some creepy vibes going on there. And then she gets a little bit close to the cage. You see a werewolf in a cage, it's really not a good idea to stick your hand in there or anything. Always, keep your hands and feet inside the car at all times. It's the same thing with the cage. Don't stick your hand in there. It's like when going to the zoo, you see a lion, you don't go to pet the lion. It's not going to go well. And so we get just a few brief flashes of Werewolf by Night in this trailer. We don't get an actual good look at him in werewolf form because this is just the teaser trailer. But there's a couple blurry shots here like that. You can see that, again, he's been trapped and enclosed in this cage. And just these crazy close-up shots I think are really interesting. We have Michael Giacchino directing this, who is a composer, so it's really interesting that he's now a director for this project, and he's been really excited about it, and I'm really interested to see, like, just based off this trailer, he already has a very interesting directing style. And then you can see that maybe because it's in black and white, they'll be willing to go further with the violence, because you can see somebody's arm gets chopped off here, and you can literally see a trail of blood dripping off there, so that's great. Jack Russell, I'm assuming this is him walking into this temple here. Her, again, don't stick your hand inside the cage. She made that mistake. And then this right here is our best look yet at the Werewolf by Night. You can tell that it is practical effects, again, going back for that kind of homage to those classic monster movies from Universal back in the day. So you got those practical effects, not going for a full CGI werewolf. At least not in this project. Maybe if we see the character return in a future project again, maybe like Midnight Suns, maybe he'll be CGI'd then, but for now he is just practical effects. And you know, again, it's not a great look at him. He just looks like a really hairy guy in the shot, so it's not really great to tell, but I think he looks fairly good. And you can just see the fear and horror in his eyes that this is a curse. This is not something he can control. This is not something that he wants a part of his life, but he has no choice. And then here's one of the other monster hunters. This is interesting because you have Jack Russell. He is being like pulled away. Now he's the werewolf. So if he's the werewolf and something else is grabbing him here. So what is that? Well, we find out in a few seconds here. I just skipped over that. There's this other creature, skull type looking thing. But this is the best part of the trailer because we do get to see this. I believe is what was pulling Jack Russell in. This is Man-Thing. So there's been rumored for a while that Man-Thing was going to be appearing in the project. I've done multiple videos on it in the past couple months. And now we have our first official look at Man-Thing in the MCU. And this just is awesome because Man-Thing is a classic Marvel character. Again, kind of resonated with the Midnight Suns and just the whole supernatural monster world of the Marvel Universe. So it's so cool to see that this character is now coming to live action. We've seen him previously. I think something really cool is that Kevin Feige originally got his start. One of the first projects he worked on was a super duper low budget Man-Thing movie back in like 2005 or something like that. So now for him to bring him to the MCU, I think is really awesome. And clearly this is a CGI character, but he still looks amazing. I mean, he looks super comics accurate, and I'm just so happy that we're getting Man-Thing in the MCU. And hopefully we again get to see more in the future as well. Hopefully this doesn't end up being like Swamp Thing over in DC, where they do a great version of Swamp Thing, that Swamp Thing DC Universe series, and then cancel it after one season. So hopefully we get to see more of Man-Thing. He looks just absolutely great here. And then again, just these crazy close-up shots of the eyes. That I believe that is that same woman from before. This is a really interesting part for me because you have these soldiers who are coming after the werewolf, and I'm not sure what is going on here because of the black and whiteness and the location and everything and the campiness. I'm not sure if that means like it's literally taking place in the past, like the early 1800s or anything like that. I'm not sure if that's the case, but if it is, then these soldiers look pretty modern, and that's a little interesting. But what really got me thinking about this is when you look at what the soldiers are wielding. Their weapons, they're like big long sticks with like this glowy part at the end. And the first thing that brought me back to was the Loki Disney Plus series with the TVA. How the TVA soldiers, they had those pruning sticks. So is the TVA maybe involved here? I mean, I kind of doubt it just because, you know, this is kind of going to be its own secluded corner of the MCU, and it's not going to be really, at least I don't think, relating to too much else going on other than maybe some Midnight Sun stuff. But I don't know, it's interesting. I mean, when you see this later shot, it doesn't really look like their uniform, but I just think it's really interesting that they specifically have those very similar looking glowy stick thingies. And then we get the Werewolf by Night logo, and then one last shot of Elsa Bloodstone as well. So Guys, that was the trailer, the official teaser trailer for Marvel Studios' Werewolf by Night. It's coming October 7th, only to Disney Plus, which is just a few weeks away. This is 3 weeks away. It's right around the corner, which also gets me excited because that means Halloween's right around the corner. So this is awesome. I have no idea. I mean, since this is just a teaser trailer, I'm assuming, we'll get a full-length trailer at some point in the next week or two. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for this because this is something really new and fresh, and it's gonna be definitely mixed for sure. But this is one of the things I've liked about Phase 4 of the MCU is that there's so much difference. There's so much new stuff. There's so many new tones, so many new genres being brought in here. And a lot of people have been having problems with that because they think, the MCU has fallen off since Phase 4. Like, it's super inconsistent and stuff. But that's, it's the point. They're trying new things. And this is definitely as new as they have gotten. And I'm really excited to see this fresh take on these characters and to see just how they're going to execute this story, and if it does indeed have any ties to the bigger Marvel Cinematic Universe. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you guys think about the official teaser trailer from Marvel Studios' A Special Presentation, Werewolf by Night? So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.